Hey guys, welcome back to the studio. Today we're going to learn the 5 steps of how to write your own song. These are just some things that I came up with having written some songs in my past, quite a few actually, such as this one. And this one. So I've been playing my guitar for about 16, going on 17 years now, and we wrote quite a few songs back in the day.
We used to get up at 3, clean the lake, eat a handful of hot gravel, then we'd work in mill for 20 hours for twopence a month, then we'd come home and Dad would beat us about the head and neck with a broken bottle.
But I didn't start writing until about 5 years into my guitar playing. Mostly before that I was just learning other bands' material and stuff like that. You know, like learned a lot of Metallica. That was probably my main band that I sort of copied, or just learned the songs so I could learn how to play rhythms, do solos, and there's some other ones, but I would say that would be probably my biggest influence, and it's actually what made me want to play the guitar. Anyway, step 1 for writing your own song is similar to what I just said. Play your instrument. Get inspired. Experience some things. Learn a new song that you have always wanted to learn and that you like.
Talk to me, tell me your name. You blow me off like it's all the same.
That'll give you joy instead of it being, too kind of like a work thing. It's more of a, wow, like I really like that song. I wanna kind of go in depth on that thing. Learn that song, and you might pull something out of it to write in your own material later. The great Picasso said that good artists borrow, but great artists steal. And I believe in that quote quite a lot, because a lot of people try to be as original as you can, and I agree to a point, but somebody somewhere has done something similar to what you're doing. So if you hear that you shouldn't let that discourage you to writing a riff in a song, because it's going to be in a totally different context. And there's also going to be other instruments and all that kind of stuff. So I would say don't worry too much about ripping people off. Obviously, don't let it be like an Ice Ice Baby under pressure type situation, because that was, one note different. So it was too close. So in that case, obviously, I think that's stupid. Another thing would be improvise in your guitar playing when you're doing your practice time and stuff like that. So not only learning new songs, but improvise as well. Like, try to put into practice the things that you've learned and let it flow out of you. And then while you're playing the guitar and you come across something that you like, record it, because you're going to forget. So all those under the umbrella of play your instrument. The other thing that I like to do after I've come up with something that I feel is compelling is try to play the same thing but in a different position on the neck. On the guitar, because that'll help you repeat yourself later in the song, but also kind of keep it interesting. Or it might be another layer of guitar that you lay over, and I think that keeps the listener feeling like something different is happening, but it's not different enough. They're thinking like, what the hell is that? Like, is that a totally different song? Or a totally different part. So I would say those are good ideas to start writing a song, my process is I always start with a guitar part because that's my best instrument. So playing my instrument and getting inspired is very important. Okay, step number 2 in writing your own song. Take those riffs that you thought were good, that you recorded, and hopefully remember, or if you don't remember, listen to them back and figure them out again. Take those riffs and try to connect some together, depending on what kind of song you're doing. I would say you need, you could have one throughout the entire song. That is common, but that doesn't always work. So I would say you want 2 or 3 different parts, so that you can have a verse, a bridge, and a chorus kind of a thing. And then maybe even like a catchy riff to start off with, kind of like the motif of the song that gets repeated a whole bunch of times. And then, make your changes as necessary, as far as tempo, as far as meter goes, as far as key signature goes. Those things will make your song meld together and marry together those parts better. Because a lot of times meter changes are kind of weird. They're obviously possible, but it's let's just say if you're listening to me right now, you might not want to be doing meter changes because you're probably in the beginning stages of writing songs. If not, if you're more experienced and you're knowing how to do that, then definitely go for it. I enjoy a good meter change in my song, and also tempo fluctuations, even key signature changes. Usually it would be like a modal modulation, but not so much key signature change. Step 3, define your parts. You define your riffs that you chose. Say this is going to be the verse, this is going to be the chorus, and this is going to be the bridge. You don't have to stick to it totally, because sometimes you might try to write a verse and it becomes a chorus because it's the catchiest part of the song. So that makes it a little bit more compelling, I would say. So, it doesn't have to be so rigid to where once you've decided in the beginning that it has to stay that way. You could, have songs that have choruses right in the beginning. Beatles famously did that, and then there's plenty of other bands that did it as well. But yeah, generally, it's verse, chorus, verse, bridge, chorus. Like that's your general song structure. Define what order you're going to play your riffs in, and that'll help you decide later, melody and stuff like that. All right, step 4 in writing your own song would be write some lyrics. It should be something that you care about and something you've experienced.
Campus and beyond.
Something you're passionate about. Because those things will come out in the lyrics and it won't be something you don't really know about, and it won't seem fake.
I wanted to die.
And that's really important because I think the audience can sense that, even though sometimes they kind of want, a sort of, not real reality, a sort of like superficial type song. A lot of pop songs are like that. But to be honest, those songs won't last. Like those won't be the ones that people are still talking about 20, 30 years from now. So at least for myself, I aspire to write songs about things that I care about and that I have experienced, or concepts that I am sort of fleshing out by writing the song. Because obviously music is a therapeutic practice, I would say, at least to some extent. And that's could be to cheer you up. It could be to sort of have compassion, meaning like somebody else feels the same way as you do. But yeah, so write lyrics about something you know and care about. I think that's important. All right, step 5 in writing a song is write your melody now. So look at your parts that you defined, your verse, bridge, and chorus, or even if doesn't have to be that, it could be verse and chorus. And choose what kind of melody you want to do. And what I mean is, like, is that going to be like an ascending line? Is it going to be a descending line? Or is it going to be like an undulating line, where you have like a wave, so it goes up and down? And I think, again, you don't have to stick to your sort of paradigm of, what you've decided. It doesn't have to be rigid. It also doesn't have to be any one of those things. You could have a combination of that. You could have an undulating verse, or an undulating chorus, or an ascending sort of chorus line. It doesn't have to be that the whole time. Like ascending, the first song I think of is like Hallelujah, like as it's literally climbing in pitch, and that's during the verse part, leading up to the chorus of Hallelujah. Focus on your parts. Try to write different melodies for your verse and bridge and chorus. A lot of times people will focus on their chorus first, because that's kind of the hook of the entire thing. That's not necessarily what I do. Sometimes I don't even know exactly what the hell I'm doing, but when I have all of these elements put together, I'm able to look at the entire thing and have, it's almost like a diagram or like an outline of what I'm sort of aiming for, and then I try to execute it and see what comes out. So that's my process of songwriting, and I think it's worked pretty well for me so far. I know a lot of guys will, or girls, whatever the hell you are, a lot of songwriters will have a melody in their head as well, kind of for the chorus first, and then try to lead that verse into the chorus, so that you have cohesive parts, that are all working together to sort of make that chorus shine. And some guys will also have their chorus be, an octave down, and then they'll jump an octave for like the high chorus, like the most intense chorus, like the climax of the song basically, and having the bridge lead into that. So that way the chorus line isn't the same every time. Or they'll do maybe a little bit of counterpoint, so you'll have basically like different harmonies happening that are in line with the melody. If you want to learn counterpoint, like just listen to some Bach, and also you could search it on YouTube and find that out. That's not actually what we're talking about, but these are just songwriting ideas. And again, sometimes I forget that if you're watching this, you might be somebody who's never written a song before. But whenever I tell people I'm a musician, a lot of times they ask me this kind of thing. Like they say, like, how do you write songs? Like, how does that process work? And there's not really a one-way fits all how to do it, and so I think, every songwriter is going to be different. Also, if you want to get inspired, you might try to do it a different way, and also, for me, I decide what I kind of want for the song, and a lot of times what I do is I don't want the dynamics of the song to be flat. So, I start low, and then I slowly build upon what I have, like in intensity, and that's driven by the guitar, the bass, and the drums, and the voice as well. So a lot of times, chorus number 3 or 4, I'm going to try to make the most intense, and so you have to stick around for that. I don't just want to reveal everything the song is right in the beginning. which, you know, some people would say is a mistake because, you know, they want the song to be, they want it to draw people in, you know, like an opener or something, you know, because a lot of people have the attention span of like, what, 2 or 3 seconds. And as soon as they decide that they don't like what's happening, they, you know, click off to another thing. My music isn't really designed for that type of listener, even though I might get more people to listen to it if I did. So who knows, maybe I might change that in the future. But for me, like most of the time, I don't listen to songs that are 2 or 3 minutes long. I like, you know, 4 or 5 minutes, or 6 or 7 even. And I feel like I've gotten to know the songwriter more, and I've gotten more out of it, and I like to see where the songwriter is going to take me. When it's only 2 minutes, it's kind of short. Some would say, you know. So like I don't feel like I've been satisfied. This is a good place to start. So again, I'll just go over it really quick. You know, it's play your instrument, so get inspired. Then, you know, record your riffs and try to connect them together. So you're going to need music theory to do that kind of a thing. And then define your parts. Write some lyrics, something you care about. And then write a melody and choose what kind of melody you want to do. And then again, at the end there, I mentioned dynamics. I think that's really important to have your dynamics just not flat the entire time, but you know, you might start big and then go low. You might go low and then go higher and higher and higher and higher to a climax and then drop off. You know, or, you know, some singer-songwriter guys, like they just kind of have a flat dynamic the entire time, and the melody is like super fantastic, and they're sort of telling a story. So, you know, the story is going to make the listener more engaged, especially if they can relate to it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you guys.